Hey friends, we are out here today and we are working on putting a electric rope style wire all the way from our solar powered battery box that's kind of back near the house all the way out to the front field. It is so much bigger than the original fencing box that was portable that I started with. It is what we've been using for several years now, and the stress has gone way down now that the sheep don't get out so much. So I have had a kind of temporary setup taking the wire out there, but today we're going to put up a more permanent setup with T-posts, so check it out. Here's an example of the old setup I had. So it's clipped to that garden wire that goes to the big shock box, but I just had the step-in posts, and I had to take it down every fall because the deer would ram into it and it just made a mess come spring. This is the wire rope that I chose to use. It's twisted instead of braided, so not quite as good, but it's going to work just fine. So you guys, that spool of that nice rope wire, I left it out in the field for 2 days. It got rained on, and as soon as I cut the label off, it totally popped apart and all came off of the spool in the middle. I had just anticipated this easy job of tying it to my first insulator and walking out, just unrolling the spool, putting it in the whole T-post setup I had done. But I have been out there for quite a while now, trying to untangle 660 feet of this rope wire. So I'm going back to make the kids lunch, and I'll get back to it later. Sometimes you can just never anticipate those problems that are going to pop up, and there's just no way around them because no one else was going to untangle that wire and the job had to get done. So that's just farm life sometimes for you. That's any kind of job for you, I guess, where there's variables. But it was handy anyway. We got all the wire untwisted, but it took a really long time. It was super hot. But we were able to get it all the way from the garden out to the orchard. Here's the beautiful shock box, it's called. We got it from our local Amish friends here, and sometimes I forget this very important part of turning that fencer off before you go to grab the wire and work on it, but you always remember, you never forget for that long. Alright, so I just turned the fencer off for this next part because I really do not like to get shocked. And Judith's still asleep on my back, and I got the kids some lunch, so I'm going back for more. I'm making sure to tape off the ends of this where I cut off my spool, as well as where it's tied. I do realize it's tied to a T-post. I haven't put the insulator on there yet, but this is the whole long, beautiful stretch back to that garden fence. And here I'm running another line that's going to go the opposite direction, so it made a big T. And then I can run my fencing off of it that I have out towards the front orchard area. So this will just give me so many options of what I want to hook up and how I want to direct my fence for where I'm putting the animals. Alright, so in my female mind, 660 feet of wire sounded like quite a bit, but apparently it wasn't enough. So I'm going to have to buy more of this rope wire and get back to this another day. But I've got 50 loaves of sourdough to go shape, and my son Simeon's going camping this afternoon with his daddy, so I gotta help them pack for that. And we have produce to pick for our market, and it's just in general a busy day, and I was probably out of time anyway. So I will get the rope and we'll finish this up. So there we have it. We finally got the rope. We finished it up. Goes all the way from that garden fence. It's powered by the shock box all the way out. Makes that nice T. The sheep are out there. It's working excellent. The electricity is flowing to that really well. Here's where I have it connected to the garden. I've learned that you don't always want to run all the way back to the initial source to turn something off if you have a sheep in the fence. So I try to put several spots where I'm connected to that wire. Here's another one. I just made it so I could disconnect it right there. That way I'm not going so far if I need to work on the fence for something. And the super other important part of fencing is to turn that thing back on, because the sheep, they're always up for a new trick, you know, so you gotta remember to turn that on. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that this maybe inspired you to beef up your fencing system or try a different way. It is always great to just simply get started, never to wait necessarily till you're perfectly set up, but it's nice as the years go by to throw a few extra improvements in there. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you could click the like button and maybe leave a comment letting me know if you enjoyed this and how that worked for you.